So, what? Why are we talking about Pantone's color of the year? Explain this to me.
Oh yeah.
You
All
you
right.
made this note, so you get to explain.
Mm, it's dumb.
Okay, why is it
Any other
dumb?
questions? Oh, okay. Dang. Follow-up questions. I wasn't prepared for this. Dang. Yeah. So every year Pantone does like color of the year. It's kind of like a big deal to some people. So like a lot of people will have like, the virtual background and it'll be like Pantone color of the year. And it's something typically like kind of cool. Like, I don't know, roseberry red or I don't know, Vegeta green. I'm just kidding. That's not a thing, but something. This year though, it's not as epic.
I'm looking at it. What do you mean not
Yeah.
as epic? It's not epic at all. It's fucking white.
Yeah.
A pillowly balanced white imbued with a feeling of serenity. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Yeah. It's like a white. Like if you like open up a Word document and it's blank, it's like that color.
That is stupid.
Yeah, it's
Why do we let places like that exist?
money. But no, like show like last year's color, for instance. Like typically they're kind of cool.
I mean, all right. What is the 2025? Sorry.
Yeah,
What was
2025.
what was 2025's? It was mocha mousse. So it's like a brownish color.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we were heading for a shitty year.
Yeah.
See?
Okay.
That made sense.
The chat would like to know what the hell that thing is on your head.
What? My headphones?
I think they're talking about the thing that's sitting on top of your headphones.
I don't know.
It's red and fuzzy.
It's red and fuzzy and it feels good, and that's the only thing that matters. So this is one of my few Black Friday pickups. It's a fuzzy red hat. I don't know.
All right. So you want to real quick because I didn't do this as a full topic. Black Friday sales were up, but the economy is fucked. A professor named Adam Cochran did the data, and yeah, we spent more money on Black Friday this year. 95% of it was financed. 95%, right? 11% on stuff like Klarna with that buy now, pay later stuff. And then the other 84% were made using credit cards that people don't plan on paying off within a month. So basically, everybody's financing Christmas this year, and we're all going to go deep into debt next year, and the economy will collapse and it'll be fine.
Yeah, this is a smart strategy because like if our society collapses, right? Like you don't have to pay that debt back.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's maybe that's what people are aiming for, right? Is this is okay. Society will collapse, and then I don't got to pay shit back. It'll be fine.
Like you're
It's great.
laughing about the hat, but you're not going to be laughing when the power grid fails and everyone's cold, but my ears are warm.
That is true. Chat said they bought Black Friday action figures with cash. See, there you go. Black Friday
Nice.
action. There you go. That's a great way to do it. That was cash. I spent no money on Black Friday as I don't leave my house on Black Friday. It's against my religion. And my religion is meism, and meism does not go to stores on Black Friday.
Dang.
Once
what are like the holidays of meism?
Black Friday is a holiday, but we do nothing but play games all day. That's the whole point,
okay.
right? Is to not leave your house and participate in consumer culture, but to stay with your friends and play games. So that's what I did.
Oh, very punk rock.
I don't do it. I've done this for years. I just don't leave.
Guess what I picked up?
What?
Because Steam was having a sale. I picked up your game.
Final Fantasy Tactics?
Game. No.
What game?
The other one.
I don't know. I forget.
Midnight Sun, the one that you
Oh,
were
that
like,
one, the Marvel
yeah.
one with magic in it. Have you started
Yeah.
it yet?
Not yet.
You need to
but
start
someone's
it.
about to go on vacation next week,
'Cause-
like mid next week, and guess what?
And there's a lot of like side quests and like getting friendship levels, and you want to max out your friendship level with magic,
Okay.
right? Also, I will advise this. When going through the game, I picked because you make your character, you can be male or female.
Mm.
Do the female one. The voice acting is so much better. Right? I have been finding myself where if given the choice, I will often pick the female. Like in Cyberpunk, I've done it both ways, right? The male voice is just, hi, I gruff male Cyberpunk voice, right? Whereas the female voice has personality.
Oh yeah.
And I did the same thing in Midnight Sun.
I always like playing as the female character. That's not like any sort of indication of like being trans or anything.
No, I'm just saying, in this particular case, play the female version. And to me, in the story, like as I played through the story, I thought about it multiple times where I was like, if I was the male version, would this make as much sense? And it doesn't. Right? It actually, the story makes more sense if you are a woman and not a man.
That's what I've been saying like my entire life.
Yeah.
Like my story makes more sense.
Yeah, I'm saying in this case, and then you can be friends with magic.
So do you have like a love interest? Like, is that like in that way Cyberpunk?
They don't.
No.
No. And I'm glad that they don't. I don't think you need that in every game. Did you get the one with all the expansions?
I think so.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me actually look at this.
Because the Deadpool expansion is awesome. The Storm expansion is good. Like, there's 3 expansions that did it. The Morbius one is good. You get all those characters as playable characters, and then you can become friends with them. And you go on, like, adventures. And you don't go on, like, again, they make it very much, it's a friend. So it's not a date. It's just a hangout, right? And you'd be like, oh, like, so after you get back from a mission, every night you pick one of the people to go hang out with. And you got to pick a thing, and you got to pick an activity that's going to increase their friendship level, and then you can give them a present that's going to increase their friendship level. But it's all about friendship, not a love interest, and I love that.
So evidently I did not get all the expansions. I think I got like the cheaper.
Okay.
What did I get? Hang on.
I'm just saying, it's a great game.
Because I also picked up like the Silent Hill game. What did I get? Hang on.
Last fun story in our cold open here while we're waiting for everybody to come in. This is so great, right? This happened in Ashland, Virginia, right? And a few weeks ago we told you the raccoons are domesticating themselves, right? They're trying to be like people. They want to come live with us. Well, this raccoon busted into a liquor store in the middle of the night through the roof, smashed the place up, got hammered, and passed out in the bathroom. Or me in my 20s.
Nice.
This raccoon is me. The Hanover County Animal Protection said after a few hours of sleep and 0 signs of injury, other than maybe a hangover and poor life choices, the raccoon was safely released back to the wild. So, yes, please, Mr. Raccoon. I want to go find this raccoon now and adopt it. And just give it bottles of whiskey.
And guns.
No.
Yeah, I want Rocket.
You want Rocket the raccoon?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, now that we've knocked out the cold open, welcome to the Error Code Show for December 4th. Your place for news, pop culture, politics, gaming, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. If you want to support the show, if you're watching us on Twitch and you have Amazon Prime and you get 1 free Prime sub, you can use that free Prime sub to give us Amazon's money. And we always appreciate that. We really, really do. Also, comment, like, subscribe, share our videos over on YouTube. We're on the march to 5,000 subs. That's our next big goal. So thank you for everybody who's helped us get that way. And again, everybody, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. It helps us defeat the algorithm gods. And then also be sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook at The Error Code Show. Yes, I am here once again with my awesome co-host Jay, who has the coolest red thing. And seriously, the red hat is messing up YouTube chat as well. They said that you have an Ashanka made from Popo the Teletubby.
I'm gonna start doing like ASMR.
No, please don't. No, I'll have to block you. Every time the ASMR used to come up on my TikTok, I would immediately block the channel. I'm like, nope, sorry. Like you going and like tapping your fucking microphone. Just no. We don't do ASMR around here.
Does that sound good?
I'm gonna have to we're gonna have to fire Jay. No. Okay. So screw it. Let's jump into it tonight. First one comes from our Discord channel. In the wake of Zohran Mamdani's election in New York, a story that kind of went by the wayside and flew under the radar was the victory of Katie Wilson here in Seattle. She is an avowed socialist, and she was elected to the office of the mayor. So much of our community here on the Error Code Show is from the Seattle area because that's kind of where we started out. And because we were asked about this directly, about the Katie Wilson election and some of the stuff that's been coming out since then. And let's face it, lots of politics is very, very local, and you should focus on your local politics. We thought we'd talk about it a bit. So, should you be worried now that Katie Wilson is the mayor of Seattle? Jay, are you afraid? Are you afraid?
No. Who is this person? No.
Yeah.
No.
No. So I'm not concerned at all. Okay. First off, we had the Socialist City Councilwoman and a bunch of other stuff here. Now, a lot of people will be like, hey, what happens in the city of Seattle affects the whole region, which is very, very true. What happens within the city of Seattle does affect the whole area. But let's look at two critical factors here, right? One, she's still just the mayor, right? We didn't elect her Queen of Seattle. She doesn't have, honestly, a lot of power, right? The Seattle City Council, which is, again, generally left-leaning, but again, much more split as far as what kind of where on that left spectrum you're doing. They have a lot more power than she does, right? It's very easy to override the mayor. This is one of the problems that the mayors in this city have had for the last 15 years is they can't really get anything done, right? They just can't. They don't have a lot of power. Something in the chat pointing out, and we're going to talk about, in fact, I'll jump straight to bullet point 3 in a minute here. And you also have to understand, and I think, Jay, you'll back me up on this, there's a difference between campaigning and reality, right? You're going to say all kinds of things, and not even things that you don't necessarily want to do, right? Campaigning for political office is aspirational, right? That's the thing that you need to remember. It's aspirational. It's what this particular mayor would like to aspire to, but do we actually think it can get done? No, not in the least bit. And then, so Jay, I'm going to give you a second. I mean, like, based on kind of what I'm talking about here, I mean, do you disagree with any of that? Like,
no, people say a lot of stupid things all the time. Like 2 years ago on the other podcast, I said, if I was a female, I would totally do corn. No, I'm serious. I would totally do corn. Now, looking back on that, that was a silly comment. Not going to do corn. I have been asked since recently. Nope.
Real quick tangent. Did the person I think asked you, was that the person who did ask you?
I don't think so. I don't think you know this person.
Okay.
They're like, hey, remember on the podcast when
I was wondering if it was one of your co-hosts on the podcast.
No.
Okay.
No. Someone else that does corn.
Um,
Yeah.
Somebody in the YouTube chat, going back to our mayor-elect. Time will tell if Mayor-elect Wilson can convert aspiration to perspiration or if it devolves to desperation. I love that line. That's very good. Anyway, yeah, back to it. So again, like, okay, let's do this because somebody in the Twitch chat said local corporations are doing their typical saber rattling. Yep, yes they are, right? And somebody pointed out like Microsoft's threatening to blah 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 blah. You know what they're not going to do? That.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm actually going to lean on Jay here, right? Jay, if I was to set up a new engineering center, right, for your tech company, like a building or a facility to house a bunch of engineers who are going to design the things that your corporation was going to design, how much would that cost?
Oh, yeah, a lot. I mean, like for the current company I work for?
Sure,
like
just
that?
use them as an example. Hundreds of millions?
Yep.
Easy?
Yep.
Okay.
A lot.
When a company like Microsoft spends hundreds of millions, if not billions, of dollars building physical infrastructure for themselves, like buildings, right? They can't just abandon them, right? They're not going to just like, well, I guess next week we'll move everybody to Topeka, right? It's not going to happen, okay? It doesn't. And we actually, and the thing that drives me nuts, and this, actually, sorry, this is where I'm going to get a little spicy. Hey, Seattleites, stop letting the corporations scare the shit out of you. Boeing did this before, okay? Boeing started this trend in the 70s. They were like, we're going to leave. We're going to leave, right? And yeah, they moved to their little corporate headquarters. But hey, Jay, what giant corporation is right behind where you work that has probably, what, a couple $1 billion worth of buildings and infrastructure?
I don't know. Does it have something to do with planes that go meow, aka Boeing?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Boeing didn't move the Renton plant. They didn't move the Everett plant. They didn't move their stuff in Seattle. It's still here. Do you know why? How much does it cost to build an airplane manufacturing facility, right? You're not going to just be like, well, I guess we're not going to build airplanes here anymore, right? I don't care if 200 people in the executive staff and in the corporate side of Boeing move to Chicago. I don't care. The bulk of Boeing's jobs are where? They're still here, right? And they also threatened to leave, and then another corporation came in. When Boeing threatened to leave, Microsoft showed up. Then Microsoft kind of started to like shrink a little bit, and Amazon showed up, okay? Seattle has been, since the 1800s, when it was a lumber town, okay? Seattle has been a company town. There was a billboard, and I will put it on here, in Seattle, that they, again, Boeing was like, we're going to leave. And so they put up a billboard that said, well, the last person leaving Seattle, turn out the lights. That was in 1971. Okay, there it is, right there. 1971. It is now the year of our dog, 2025. Okay.
Oh, dang.
Did Seattle die when I wasn't looking?
I mean, did someone turn the lights off? Because last time I checked, they were still on.
Yeah. I mean, we can. Well, let's actually look into that. Let's see. Population of Seattle, 1971. Was the metro area was 1.5 million, right? 1.5 million. Right now, it is 3.5 million. So, again, I ask you, am I concerned about Microsoft threatening to leave or pretending to threaten to leave? No. Am I concerned about Amazon threatening to leave? No. Right? Amazon bought a whole shitload of buildings in South Lake Union, and they got to find a buyer for those before you can go anywhere. No, Amazon ain't going shit nowhere. None of these people are going shit nowhere. Last one on the local thingy, the state income tax, because again, the very few GOP people in the state are they want to start a state income tax. Okay. First off, we have a deeply regressive tax structure in the state because we don't have an income tax. It's also against the state constitution. You're not going to get a state income tax. Everybody relax. I don't know why, and actually, Jay, you'd be good for this too. They do this kind of scare tactic shit in Florida. The difference is in Florida, it seems to kind of work. Right? If you elect the dirty socialists, the world will come to an end.
Yeah. Yeah. So it does work. So for instance, I've actually seen firsthand, like after like a school shooting, there's a huge ramp up of like talk of like taking our guns away. And I kid you not, like you'll walk into a gun store and everything is gone. Like shelves are bare because everyone just runs and buy guns. Like I think even like the gun stores like have sales like, oh, they're going to take your guns, buy like, buy one Glock, get one half off. Oh, I'm kidding. But like they lean into it. I will say like Florida slightly different. I have seen companies build really massive engineering facilities in Florida, threaten to leave and then actually leave. But construction's a lot cheaper in Florida.
And they can't insure the building anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at Northwest Florida and look what $1 million will get you compared to what Seattle is. It's very sad. It's very sad. It'll make you want to try to make Florida work.
Since we're staying in Washington politics, I got a bunch coming in from Utah. Well, thoughts about Governor Ferguson having the lowest approval rating for a Democrat since 1993. Every Democrat has the lowest approval rating since 1993. The fact of the matter is that the approval ratings are not indicative of voting pattern. As we saw with, I don't know if you saw that Tennessee special election the other day, Jay. Right? She outperformed Kamala by this. A Trump plus 22 district in Tennessee, right? They had their special election. It was Trump plus 9. They lost 13 points, right? The Democratic Party is not happy with the Democrats, but I don't think they're going to turn around and become Republicans. You know what I mean? The worst case scenario is they're going to stay home, but I don't think they're going to vote for the GOP, right? And in the state of Washington, Governor Ferguson can have the worst fucking approval rating. He's, at least under the modern Republican Party, the state's not going to elect a Republican governor right now. They've done it in the not too distant past. We had Republican governors for a long time in this state. Not right now. Because anybody who would win a Republican primary in this state would be too far to the right to win a general. That's the problem in the state of Washington, right? I know it isn't a binary choice, but until we look, okay, maybe I'm going to split this segment. Hang on.
Oh, snap. What is this? Spicy Rogers is coming out?
Okay. I am really, really tired of people telling me that politics in this country isn't a binary choice. Yes, it is. Yes, it is until, okay, I need these third parties to stop trotting out presidential and gubernatorial candidates and these candidates every 2 to 4 years. Stop it, okay? Go win a city council seat. Go win a state house seat. Do me a favor, Green Party. When you can take control of any state legislature in this country, any one, then I will consider you a serious political party. Until then, sit down and shut the fuck up. Because I'm absolutely tired of the third party. I wish we were like Britain and had 6 parties. I really do. But the problem is that the current third parties, air quotes, They don't focus on local elections. They don't spend money on local elections. They don't raise money for local elections. And they don't try to win local elections. Okay? Jill Stein pops out every 4 years, flaps her fucking gums, and then disappears. Hey, Jay, have you heard from Jill Stein since the election?
Nope.
What the fuck is Jill Stein doing?
I don't know. I like to think she makes the little steins that you see for
maybe that's what she's doing when she's not doing this shit. But please, 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 okay? Again, people used to bag on the one socialist city council member we had, Kshama Sawant. You know why I didn't bag on her? She won a fucking election. Okay? Like her, love her, hate her, dislike her, don't agree with her politics. At the end of the fucking day, she won an election, right? Multiple times in a row, right? God, how many times did she get elected? Trying to remember if it was 3 or 4. 3 terms. Kshama Sawant won 3 terms and stayed in the Seattle City Council for 12 years, right? So at least she won, right? Okay. When the third parties start focusing on state legislatures, win a gubernatorial election, Green Party, right? Go to here we go. Go to Oregon. I don't know why the Green Party's not running a gubernatorial candidate in Oregon every cycle. Right? Somebody explain this to me. This is why everybody's like, vote third party, vote third party. Oh, we need to get them above the 5. No, we fucking don't. Okay? They will naturally make it into the presidential debates and the elections if they win lower offices first. That's what they have to do. And until they do that, they're fucked and they're not serious candidates. And I will ignore them, whether they're libertarians, socialist alternative, or the Green Party. I'm so fucking tired of the third parties just fucking shit up in this country. Because they are fucking shit up. They confuse the shit out of people, right? They get people to stay home. They get people to not participate. Because it's not just about, they're like, well, if you take Jill's votes, Kamala still wouldn't have won. I'm not just talking about the people who voted for Jill. I'm talking about the people who listen to these third-party motherfuckers and disengage from the political process because they like the third parties but refuse to participate in the political process because they know they can't fucking win. Okay? So what do? They stay the fuck home. Right? Hang on. What percentage of eligible voters voted in 2024? I'm gonna double check the number. 65%. Which means 35% of eligible voters was just like, fuck it. And that's not a small number of motherfuckers. It annoys me. End of rant. Jay, would you like to add anything?
Oh, this message has been brought to you by Spicy Rogers. Please don't be my neighbor. Play the music. Dun, 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 dun.
Do we need theme music? I gotta come up with another name for that. We do have to come up with another name for that segment, and we need to start doing segment building. We know that. Spicy Mr. Rogers or Spicy Schoolhouse Rock something, right? Schoolhouse Punk Rock. I don't know what it's gonna be. We'll figure it the fuck out. Okay. Fuck it. Since we're on politics, you want to just stay on politics for a minute? Let's just run through the political ones. We're going to get to fun entertainment news later. I promise. Let's get the politics out of the way. This next one is all you, Jay, because this is another one that just makes me want to fucking throw things. Go to work.
All right. So the walls are closing in on our favorite person, Hegseth. So first, let's start with the incident. Most people have already heard about the strike on a small vessel in the Caribbean carrying 11 people. You've probably seen the footage. U.S. military operation intercepting what the administration described as a drug running boat. But then the second strike that's the issue. So, according to reporting and ongoing investigations, 2 survivors were visibly struggling on the debris, trying to stay alive when a second strike was ordered. That's what triggered the Pentagon review. And what's more, the people on the boat were reportedly not enemy combatants. They were criminal suspects. And what this means is that the U.S. is obligated to detain them, not execute them. Courts decide sentences, not Hellfire missiles. I think you can back me up on that one. But that's only the first investigation. While all of this is unfolding, another scandal resurfaced, and that is the great Signal group chat leak. Pentagon Inspector General report, a real one, not speculation, concluded that Secretary Hegseth shared secret military information in a group chat back in March. Information that, according to sources familiar with the report, could have put U.S. troops at risk. And we are expecting a redacted public version soon. This wasn't some elite national security discussion. Of course, if you recall, this was a very messy group chat that accidentally included a journalist. And what was his response and his allies' response was just jokes, which this is the level of seriousness that we're dealing with. And now the deflections have begun. Hegseth recently praised Admiral Mitch Bradley, but the subtext of the message was hard to miss. He frames Bradley as the one making the operational discussions on that Caribbean strike. But here's the problem. The U.S. military law is very crystal clear. You do not obey illegal orders. The Uniform Code of Military Justice says it. Military courts reinforce it. Every officer learns it. And yet, according to the reporting, the admiral who initially raised concerns about those strikes was dismissed personally by Hegseth, replaced with someone who probably won't push back. That's not the chain of command. That is a chain of scapegoats. But here's the wider problem. Even with all the political noise, public opinion still matters in America. Oversight still exists, and Pentagon watchdogs, some of the last independent institutions that we have, aren't laughing these issues off.
Sorry,
Their findings. Oh, go.
Real quick. Does oversight still exist? That's all.
Okay. So obviously their findings matter. And I think this will absolutely hit the 2026 midterms. Because when you prioritize loyalty over competence, when you stack the government with influencers, TV personalities, instead of professionals, this is the result. We get a circus, and Pete Hegseth, he's becoming one of the main clowns of the act. And that's all that we got. Back to Alex with the weather.
It's raining tomahawks!
God. So, I mean, you're military. You were military. This is like just straight up a war crime, right? Like this is...
Yeah, so the term that everybody needs to learn is what's called hors de combat, right? And it's defined in every war crime trial. It's this, right? And the term hors de combat means this. You can't fight anymore, okay? So let's put this in perspective. What everybody's talking about is not the initial strike on the drug boat. Let's put that aside for a minute. Let's pretend for a second that the initial strike is legal, right? The issue here is not the first strike. It's this. Oh, look, the smoke cleared. There's 2 dudes floating and holding on to jetsam, okay? Like busted pieces of boat and floating in the water, okay? They're what's called hors de combat. They can't fight anymore. They're out of the fight. When you shoot the second missile at them, you committed a war crime. Okay? That's it. It's that simple. Now, we have a problem. We have a series of problems. Number one, oversight. It looks like Congress may be taking back some of their oversight, but I'll believe it when I see it because Mike Johnson's a tool. Put that aside. Also, the Democrats are screwing this up. Put that aside. Here's the issue, and somebody put the oath of enlistment, but I don't want you to focus on the oath of enlistment because they're not enlisted people who are making these decisions. And officers take a different oath, right? Enlisted men promise to obey the orders of the President of the United States and the order of the officers. An officer does not. They swear to defend the Constitution of the United States. Full stop. That is their oath. I just put it in the chat. Okay? I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the same. And I'm not doing it for bad reasons. Right? That's their thing. Their oath actually says nothing about obeying orders at all. It says nothing. It says they'll defend the Constitution. The issue with not following illegal orders is this, right? And somebody is rightly pointing out in the YouTube chat that laws of war is different for combat on land versus combat at sea. And again, this is why we talk about order to combat, because this has actually been dealt with many times with people who were floating after ships were sunk. When they're floating in the water after the ship is sunk, they're not combatants anymore. They can't fight. Right? We didn't want Japanese Zeros strafing Americans who were laying in the water after a ship got sunk. That's a war crime. Moving on. The issue with not following illegal orders is this. It's the structure in which it's done. Okay? Jay, you're a person. I'm Secretary Dipshit Hegseth. Right? Hey, Jay, go commit this war crime.
Aha. You have unleashed my trap card as a trans person. And if you're a military person, I am not a person to you. I don't exist.
Pretend.
Aha.
We're playing pretend.
Damn.
You're a general. I say, General, go do this war crime.
No.
Cool. You're relieved of command, and I arrest you. Now you're in the brig.
Oh, shit.
Okay? Now, did you refuse the illegal order? Yes, you did. And I arrested you for refusing an order. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to go to court, and you're going to be prosecuted for refusing an order. Your defense to that prosecution is it was illegal, right? But that doesn't change the fact that I arrested you. It doesn't change the fact that I am now holding you in some sort of restriction while you fight criminal charges for refusing an order, right? It's not as simple as I refuse the illegal order and somebody goes, oh, yeah, you're probably right. No, that's not how this works. That's the thing that, again, all this news coverage, all this bullshit fucking misses. They missed the point. Hey, Admiral, go do this thing. And it was the Admiral of Southcom who said, and again, whether Hegseth removed him or whether Hegseth said comply or resign and he resigned is subject to some debate. I wasn't in the room, but officially he resigned. The Admiral of Southcom said, and he resigned. He said, I'm not going to do it. And he resigned and he walked away. Okay? His choice. And then, yeah, they put in an Admiral who do what he was told. Right?
So...
But again, if you refuse the illegal order, you're still going to fucking jail for a little bit. It may only be a little bit, but you're still in trouble.
Okay, if I can ask like the dungeon master some questions here. While I'm in jail, like what do I have with me?
I don't know, a Bible?
All right, can I roll a d20 to try to pick the lock?
No. That's the problem with the illegal order concept. right? If you refuse it in the moment, especially if you refuse it in the moment, right? You're going to jail. And they're just going to relieve you of your space and put somebody out there who's going to do what they tell them to do. And they'll just keep going down until they find somebody, right? The issue here is the only way this works is if there is a equivalent or roughly equivalent officer who can look at that admiral or at Pete Hegseth or whoever and go, you can't tell them to do that. That's the only other way this works properly, right? This captain over here says, hey, go do that illegal thing. And that captain over there goes, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't listen to him. That was illegal, right? Which in these environments doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Somebody in the YouTube chat says, when you're in jail, you get a rock or something. A poorly written letter from an elementary school kid in the Midwest and a glow belt.
Okay.
That is your court-martial inventory. Yeah. You refuse an order, you're still being court-martialed. Like, that's probably still going to happen. Which sucks. Right? The reason it has generally worked, and it hasn't always worked, My Lai Massacre, right? Fallujah Massacre, or was it Ramadi or Fallujah? The Marines who massacred those people. It works most of the time because there's a social contract almost. There's a thing that says, look, we know what is wrong, right? Killing innocent people is wrong. So we're not going to do that. Right? What are the rules of an XO relieving a CO? I'll be honest, I don't know. I don't know what those rules are. I was not a commissioned officer. I was a non-commissioned officer. So I don't know. I don't know what I don't know if there's a situation where an XO can do that. And again, it may vary service to service. And it may vary, again, there may be a difference between land war and sea war, right? Because on a boat, a captain, there's somebody in the chat who could probably answer it. I know they're in the chat right now. They've been talking. I don't know what happens on a boat where a captain is the god king of the emperor, right? The god king emperor of that boat. Who can relieve that captain of command in the moment if they think they're doing something illegal? I don't know the rules. I just don't know. Yeah, I'm not familiar with those circumstances. Let's move on to this. Coming back to oversight and stuff like that. Jay, do you think Hegseth's going to be in his job much longer, or do you think that Trump's going to keep defending him?
Look, I think Trump is taking on water. If Trump is like a really poorly built ship, like I think he is taking on water. I think Hegseth is like adding to this issue. It's like Sea of Thieves. If you've ever played Sea of Thieves, right, and you start taking on water, and then someone sets the boat on fire, and now you're trying to like bail out water and put the fire out. I don't know if anyone's getting this reference, honestly, on this in this stream, but to me it would make sense to like cut him, be like, whoa, hey, MAGA's not happy with that. You can't just do war crimes, dude.
No, see, let's be clear. Most of the reaction I've seen from MAGA has been happy. MAGA's like,
what?
Fuck it, do war crimes. MAGA is all about doing the war crimes. There's a section of the conservative movement that's going, okay, we've crossed the Rubicon, we've crossed the line, and obviously the left side of the political spectrum is like, what the fuck are we doing here? Most of the stuff I've seen from MAGA has been, yay, war crimes.
I do want to say that we did get an answer in chat about the Navy thing. So it's playground rules.
Exo's dad has to fight the CO's dad. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess maybe not. Nothing makes sense anymore. Maybe this helps him in some weird way. Maybe he's like, oh, look, Hegseth is a hero. I don't know. He's on my team. We just live in really weird times.
Have you ever seen the movie Wag the Dog?
No.
Okay. You need to watch Wag the Dog. Everybody needs to watch Wag the Dog. Okay?
Wag Dog.
Okay? It's Dustin Hoffman and Robert De Niro. So we're obviously starting out strong, right? But in order to distract voters from a presidential sex scandal, they start a fake war. Right? They literally start a fake war in this movie to distract the world from the fact that the president is doing goofy crap. Right? They create a theme song for the war. They do all kinds of stuff. And literally, it's not even a real war. They manufacture like war footage, everything, right? Like everybody needs to watch Wag the Dog and then realize what's going on. And somebody else brought up in the chat. It's the Epstein thing. Yeah, a lot of this is the Epstein thing. A lot of this is them trying to find anything that's not going to piss everybody off. The funny thing is there was a lot of MAGA who was like, this is the anti-war president, right? Where I do think MAGA turns on him, Jay, is if he puts boots on the ground. And I think Trump knows that. This is the problem they're having because you got guys in the government like Rubio who desperately want to invade Venezuela, who desperately want regime change in Venezuela. It's been a project of theirs for a long time. Thank you, fucking South Florida. Okay? I swear to God, Florida... I'll come back to Florida in a minute. I think that Trump knows that if he puts U.S. troops on the ground in Venezuela, everybody's going to be pissed. Pissed. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, this whole thing is a wag the dog situation. It's all a distraction. So, I hope Hegseth is removed. Somebody's filing articles of impeachment against him tomorrow. Because it's performative bullshit, and then all you're gonna do is rally them against you. When you do this performative crap, it doesn't work. Stop it, Democrats. Fuck's sake, Jeffries, get control of your goddamn conference. Anyway. Also, Hegseth's an asshole.
Yeah, in other news, water is wet.
I have eggnog.
No.
That's right, baby.
I need eggnog.
Non-alcoholic, lactose-free eggnog so that I don't have problems. I hope Jeffries doesn't become speaker. I do too, but he's gonna be. In 2027, he'll be speaker. Which annoys me. We haven't done this yet. By the way, if you missed it before the show and you want to throw a topic in, you can throw a topic into the chat right now and we'll try and get to it toward the end of the show. Why? Because now we're moving on to fun topics. That is eggnog. What are you talking about? Whatever. Are you an eggnog drinker or are you an anti-eggnogger?
I'm totally for the eggnog.
Okay. My wife hates it.
Yeah, my wife does too.
Okay. I call it Christmas milk.
Yeah, it totally is.
I love Christmas milk. Okay. It's fucking delicious.
I do. I love it. And it represents the milk that came from the body. Oh, no. Nope.
Eggnog is holiday grog. Yeah, I love eggnog. Look, I'll drink alcoholic eggnog, but it's got to be made right. Like,
I agree. I feel
people
like
fuck up alcoholic eggnog all the goddamn time.
Yeah. 100%. It comes out like too watery most of the time, and I'm like, oh, what is this? Like, I want the thicky.
or they put too much in and you can't taste the nog anymore. You're just really
Yeah.
tasting the booze and it's too burny.
Yeah.
Or they use cheap booze in the eggnog and then it's burny. Okay? Don't do that. Don't do that. Now, what do you put in your nog? Is it rum or whiskey?
What? I think
Rum or bourbon? Because bourbon's a whiskey.
okay, rum.
You're a rum guy?
I'm like a rum and whiskey guy. Like if
But I'm
it
saying
is,
in the nog.
yeah, I think it's just like I go back and forth between the two. It's like what I have on hand, or what's, yeah.
Okay.
But I love eggnog just without the alcohol.
I buy a whole bunch of the lactate eggnog. Every year. Look, I had to do it, okay? I'm lactose intolerant. I ignored it for years. It's bad for me. Makes me yuck.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But I don't know. It's I never looked at like the nutritional.
There's no nutritional value in eggnog. I know there's a traditional way to make it, but some people won't do it because it is raw eggs.
Yeah. Oh.
Egg yolks.
Oh my God. So for 4 ounces of eggnog, typically you're consuming 200 calories, 26 grams of carbs, and 5 grams of protein.
I'm okay with this. I'm okay with it. I've consumed way worse things in my life. Way worse things.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I agree with that. Chat, what do you think? Do you want to see us just chug eggnog? Do you want to pay us not to see us chug eggnog?
I go to
use your
Amazon. We were talking about the debt. You know, we were talking about the debt thing. Somebody in YouTube chat. I go to the store and pay in cash for eggnog, as is tradition. Don't finance your eggnog purchases. All right, let's move on to a fun topic now. Want to move on?
Yeah. Okay. So going back to eggnog being the body of.
Okay. Here we go. So, interesting reporting from Variety that Scarlett Johansson is now in talks to play a key role in Matt Reeves' sequel to The Batman, tentatively titled The Batman 2. So a couple questions to you, Jay. First off, what do you think about them adding Scarlett Johansson to The Batman 2? And more importantly, who do you think the long-term MCU actress is going to play?
Look, this is easy. Lock me in. All right, 1.
So 1, do you like it?
Yes, I love Scarlett Johansson. Totally. Second, come on. Are we even going to talk about this? Like, I feel like this show is just going downhill. Obviously, Poison Ivy. That is what I'm saying. Fight me. Okay. Make me change my mind.
So practically speaking, here's what I will say. What Matt Reeves has said about The Batman 2, which was finished in June. He finished it in June, if we all remember, because I think we covered that story. And he turned it into James Gunn, and James Gunn was like, this is great, green light, go. Right? And they start filming, I think, in the spring. Matt Reeves said that the villain of The Batman 2 is one that we haven't seen on screen before. Right? So that, to me, immediately eliminates Poison Ivy. We've seen it. It's been done. He said it's something that we haven't seen on the big screen before. And we have seen Poison Ivy on the big screen.
We have, yeah.
So I don't think it's Poison Ivy. The other reason I don't think it's Poison Ivy is this particular Elseworlds Batman, and I love that DC's doing this, the Elseworlds stuff. This is not supernatural Batman. This is not Batman that exists in the same universe as Superman. This is not Batman. This is Riddler's a serial killer. You know, it's Batman as a detective. It's very much this, right? So I don't think somebody who controls plants fits that universe very well.
Why can't she be a serial killer that poisons her victims with fertilizer?
Okay. Let's go back to the chat. Chat, go and throw your ideas in here. I'm going to give this one from chat, though. What do you think about Batwoman or Batgirl?
I don't know. I feel like this is too early. Given the age of Batman in the first Batman movie, I feel like this is.
We also don't know
early.
how much of a time jump it's going to be.
Fine, yeah, that's true.
And then how old is? Because they did a pretty good job of making him look younger in that last one, but he's 39. Robert Pattinson is. So you could do a time jump. So what do we think about Batwoman? Because there's nothing in the article from Variety that says she's a bad guy, right? It just says in negotiations to star opposite Robert Pattinson in the Batman 2. That's it. So we don't know it's a bad guy. So does that widen your view a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, could be Batgirl or Batwoman. I don't know. Now you have like stumped me. I told you to fight me and you fought a little too hard. I'm just gonna say.
Somebody else in the chat said Zatanna, which I don't dislike.
Well, so I've talked about this before. Like you actually asked me like what character would you like to see on the big screen, and I said that. But my only issue with that is as you just pointed out, this is a very practical world.
But she could be a practical magician who uses magic tricks and science to create illusions and shit. And she's not a bad guy per se.
Right. I mean, I would love that. I would 100% be really happy with that. I
don't dislike that one. Killer Frost. I don't think Killer Frost, again, for the same reason I don't think you're going to see Poison Ivy in this universe, in this Elseworld. I just don't think it's going to happen. Zatanna with no real magic would suck. No, I think you could do it. Again, I think that's like saying Batman without him being a giant meathead. Like Matt Reeves did really well making Batman, first off, not a ninja, like have a hard time fighting, give him a practical fighting style, and make him a detective, right? So I'm going to tell you what my theory is in a minute. I want to give Chad another second.
I wonder if you're going to go like the route that I think you're going to go.
So I pulled up the wiki on it.
Oh, are you going to start with a T?
Actually, somebody brought this one up, and I don't dislike it, and that was from Batman Mask of the Phantasm. The Phantasm.
Yep.
That was not a bad idea. Right? What was her name? Andrea Beaumont. Right? Remember, she becomes like the bad guy vigilante. But I don't think that's it either. Right? Anybody else? Going, gone. Samantha Vanover. That's who I think she's playing. Maybe not named that, but that's who I think it is. May change the name, may change some of the details, but she was the head of the Court of Owls.
Oh, snap.
And I am still of the theory that the bad guy in the Batman 2, because it was all about, and look at what they did with the Penguin, right? Look what they did in Batman, right? Riddler was pissed off because all these officials, the mayor, everybody else he was killing was corrupt, right? Remember, the Riddler thought he was trying to be like Batman, except killing them, you know?
Yeah.
If the idea is, and again, go look at what they did with the Penguin TV show. If the idea is this organized crime, corruption, the Court of Owls makes the perfect foil to this Batman, right? They're rich, they're powerful, they're evil, they're trying to keep the city from being better because it benefits them to have the city be a shithole, right? You know, all kinds of reasons. And Samantha Vanover, who dates Batman, or who dates Bruce, right? So Scarlett Johansson is dating, because I think, so you remember how in Batman, the first Batman, he was all kind of emo and pissed off all the time? Yeah. Right? I think in the Batman 2, because remember, during that movie, he was Vengeance, right? Who are you? I'm Vengeance, right? And at the end of that movie, they go, who are you? And he goes, I'm Hope, right? And the whole hero's journey in the first Batman movie was him going, oh, wait, I don't want to do this just for vengeance. I want to give people hope. I want to make Gotham better. I'm not just trying to get vengeance anymore, right? Which was his whole mode at the beginning of the movie, right? I'm vengeance. I'm pissed off because you guys killed my parents, so I'm going to fucking beat up criminals. At the end, he's Hope. And so I think what you're going to see is a more traditional Bruce in the second one. And again, where Ben Affleck, I think, said it, Bruce Wayne is the mask. Batman is the real guy. Bruce is the mask he puts on to fool everybody, right?
Right.
And I think you're going to see that in the Batman 2, where you're going to see Robert Pattinson looking all sparkly vampire sleek, right? Because we know he's a good-looking guy. You know, if they're not putting eye black and putting his hair over his face, I think he's, you know, I think they can make that switch in the Batman 2, and he's out there and he's dating and he's being the playboy billionaire philanthropist, and he starts dating Samantha Vanover, who is Scarlett Johansson, and she doesn't know he's fucking Batman, right? She's simultaneously leading the Court of Owls and being like, we got to kill this Batman guy, right? And then, you know, he's like, dang, she was hot. Why does she have to be evil? So what do you think of that theory?
I love it. Actually, I would be 100% on board with this. I loved the Court of Owls storyline. So, yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Barbara Gordon wouldn't work because this Gordon is black. Well, I mean, she could be adopted. You know, you're going to run that by 2 lines of dialogue. We adopted her, right? Or Barbara Gordon is his stepdaughter from his wife's first marriage. There's a lot of ways around making her Barbara Gordon. If you were making her Batgirl, right? Who's Bat? What's her name? Kate Kane. You could make her Batwoman, right? Because Kate Kane is Bruce's what? Cousin? Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's his cousin. Right? Or something like that. At least in the show she was. Yeah, in the New 52, she's a cousin of Batman's alter ego Bruce Wayne, being a niece of his mother Martha Wayne. And you got to remember, the red hair that she wears as Batwoman is fake. It's part of her cowl. Right? So whoever said Batwoman, again, Divis in the chat, I love Zatanna. And here's the thing. I think it's the Court of Owls. Zatanna would not make me sad. That would be fun. Like if Bruce was dating her and then she divined that he was Batman and then showed up one night and was like, I'll do magic-y things to, like, hide you. Like, I'd be down.
Yeah. It'd be cool. I don't know. Without
Rumor is, the rumor is Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman will not be in this one. So, we need a new female foil for Bruce. You know, could be Nightfall too. Yeah, and again, there's lots of ways you could make Scarlett Johansson Barbara Gordon. Again, I think she's actually too old to be the Gordon. Because he's not that much. Jeffrey Wright. How old is Jeffrey Wright? Jeffrey Wright was so good as Gordon in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, technically he's old enough to be her dad, but not by much. He's 59. You know. You know. That again could be an adopted daughter, could be a stepdaughter, if you wanted to go that route. I would rather them not do Barbara. Now, here's the other question that I've heard rumors is in the Batman 2. And I just don't know how I feel about it. There's a rumor that the Batman 2 is going to have a Robin. Right? And if there's any area where I think the live-action Batman has struggled, right, both on television and in film, is Robin. It's really hard to do Robin. And I'm kind of moving away from the ScarJo talk for just a second. But do you see this Bruce having a Robin?
Ooh. Not a Robin. Like, and I kind of agree with you here. I don't want to really see a Robin. I would be okay with like Nightwing.
We're not going to see Nightwing in the Batman. I think we're going to see that in the DCU, the mainline DCU. So let's put that aside. But again, this Elseworlds, this world of the Batman, the Penguin, right? Do you see a way to write this to bring in a Robin well?
No.
Because like the Nolan verse, he basically just didn't bother. He was like, yeah, no,
right,
whatever.
Yeah.
You know, the original Batman movies from the 80s forward, they didn't do a great job with the Robin. Right? They tried. Right? But I don't think it worked.
No. Yeah, I don't really want to see
Adam West Robin, like version of Robin, the Adam West Dick Grayson, that was the ambiguously gay duo.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Also, I think it just kind of like clutters too much. And
I don't
take. Go ahead.
Well, no, it's somebody in the chat said maybe a Robin that's written more like Kato to Green Hornet. And I don't dislike that. I don't. Right? Similar origin story to our traditional Dick Grayson, right? But hey, look, Dick, I'm not going to take you where I go, but what I will do is I will let you, for lack of a better term, drive the car and get me there, right? Or, you know, I'll let you participate, but not fully.
Yeah.
You know, that's not a bad way to approach that character, honestly, and it hasn't been done before. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I just think whenever you have too many superheroes like in one movie, it's either going to go really, really good, like Avengers, or it's going to go really, really bad. And most of the time, it goes really, really bad because you're trying to build up too many. Like, unless you do Marvel, right, where everyone has its own separate movie and you build up their backstory, you fall in love with that character, and then you bring them all together, which no, is not going to happen with Robin. I feel like when you just jump in and you're just like, yeah, here's a group of people. And I'm kind of thinking about Arrow. I know TV show, completely different. I loved Arrow.
Oh, I loved the Arrowverse. I loved the whole thing.
I did not love the whole thing. I loved like season 1, season 2, but when everyone started coming on board, I was like, I don't care about these people.
I'm telling you, it is the best on-screen iteration of Crisis on Infinite Earths that I've ever seen. Was the one they did for Arrowverse.
My saddest thing about that show was when they revealed that no one died when the island blew up. When they thought everyone died on the island, when it like blew up, I was like, yay. And then the next season hit and like, no, they're not dead.
Yeah.
Sad.
So actually I'm gonna switch gears here slightly, since we seem to be having, the chat seems to be having fun with the DC conversation, and I like DC comics. And so does Jay. Right? And now Jay's starting to read Superman at Dog Dad's request. Right? But here we go. Yeah. So somebody else in YouTube chat said a Robin that is more collaborative with other vigilantes versus Batman's loner tendencies. And then somebody said maybe a Damian Wayne Robin. Now the theory on the mainline DCU Batman is it's going to be based on the Brave and the Bold, in which case it will be Damian Wayne in that movie, which means the Batman we have will have been through, depending on which continuity you're looking at, either 2 or 3 Batmans or Robins by this point. If they go Brave and the Bold, Dick Grayson is already Nightwing, right? Jason Todd is either dead or is the Red Hood, right? Depending on where we are on the timeline. And now he's got Damian, right? His son, right? And so I can see in the mainline DCU where this is an older Batman who shedded a lot of his loner tendencies, because it's Dick who tells Batman, hey, Batman, you need a Robin. Like, this is the thing that keeps you from going off the fucking deep end, is you need the Bat family. And it is, in the comic books, it's the Bat family that grounds Batman, right? That makes him not such a clown, right? The Bat family is what makes Batman better, right? So I would like to see in the mainline DCU a Nightwing that was with Bruce from the age of like 15 to 20, right? When Bruce was a younger Batman, right? Like earlier in his Bat career. And then in the way the comics stick, where Dick had to be like, look, guy, I gotta go. I gotta go do my own thing, and then he becomes Nightwing, right? And then Jason comes and dies and whatever, right? Like, I think that's the Batman I want to see, who again is more collaborative, is used to working with people, has been doing it for a long time. You know, I think that fits more in the mainline DCU than in the Matt Reeves verse, right? I mean, now I'm curious for your thoughts on this, Jay. I'm going to shut up for a couple minutes.
Yep. That's all I got. No, I mean, yeah, I would like that. I don't have like anything negative to say about that.
It doesn't have to be negative. I'm curious if you got anything to add to that too.
I don't really have anything to add. Like, the Bat family does make, like, yes. It just needs to be done well. That's like the only thing. That's like my biggest worry. Like, Batman is literally like the first superhero I think I ever saw. Like, seriously. I watched the Batman animated cartoon show. Classic. The Batman movie. I was probably way too young to watch. That's probably why I really liked leather and latex. you know, Catwoman. Anyways, yeah, my just biggest concern is just like messing it up.
I think I trust James Gunn with
Yeah.
that kind of concept more than I trust almost anybody else. Again, this is why. Again, there's been rumors that Reeves wrote a Robin into his second Batman. I'm curious if he's done it. I don't know if we're gonna get a Batman 3. I'm starting to doubt it, given how long it took him to do Batman 2. But I really like this version. Like, I've loved this version of Batman since it came out. You know, but yeah, putting a Robin in there is tough. Part of it is in the comics, we could disconnect it a little bit. So when Batman's running around with a 15 or 16-year-old who's getting the snot beaten out of him by thugs, we're a little less like squicky about it than I think if we see a 15 or 16-year-old getting the crap kicked out of him by the Joker on the big screen. Like, I don't think you could do a live action iteration and show on the screen Killing Joke.
Oh God. Yeah, no. No. There's no way. No. Nope. There's way too much in that movie. That's nope. I don't think we'll ever see it.
I think it was alluded to in the Affleck version, right? I think that the
Yep.
Robin there, I think that was supposed to be I think that was supposed to be Jason Todd, my guess. But yeah, I don't think you could show Killing Joke.
No, like, especially not right now. So like you're gonna introduce like a Batgirl and then just boom, paralyzed. Oh God. No. I mean, I did really like that graphic novel. And also the animated version of it is great. But like, yeah, that's just way too dark.
I think it's brutal. Yeah, to watch that in live action would be pretty brutal.
Yeah.
I've not seen you shake your head this much in a long time where you're just like, no, not happening.
I think I would cry in that movie.
The worst thing Nolan did was have Alfred leave Bruce. Alfred would never leave Bruce. I have a love-dislike relationship. I have a like-dislike relationship with the Nolan verse, right? When I first saw Batman Begins, I liked it. When I've gone back to rewatch Batman Begins, every time I watch it, I'm like, I like it less on rewatch than I did the first couple times I saw Batman Begins. Dark Knight, I love Heath Ledger's The Joker. I think it's one of the best iterations of Joker we've ever seen. I think it's phenomenally acted. I think Heath did a phenomenal job. I'm sad it caused him the pain that it did. I think the version of Two-Face we got in that was really, really good. I think the movie's about 15 minutes too long. Right? The whole like, okay, I gotta go to China to get this guy, and then I gotta do this. Like, you probably could tighten that movie up by about 15 minutes. Right? And I really like, I am a Dark Knight Returns defender. Right? I liked Tom Hardy as Bane with that silly voice. I liked that it was the Talia al Ghul who screws him over. I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's little cop character who's like our pseudo Robin-ish.
Yep.
Right? And I kind of like, and I kind of get it. But I don't like the fact that Batman leaves Gotham. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that, it's not the Alfred leaving Bruce. The way that he explains it, it makes sense to me from Alfred's perspective, right?
100%.
It's not Alfred leaving Bruce. He's like, Bruce, I want you to fucking go. I've watched you destroy yourself for this city for like a decade. And now you have nothing but pain and sadness. And that's why the scene at the cafe at the end works, because it's alluded to earlier in the movie. This is what Alfred wants for Bruce. What was interesting in the Arrowverse, they hinted that the Arrowverse was the Nolanverse. When they go to Gotham, the reason Oliver doesn't think the Batman exists is the Batman had disappeared like 5 years prior, and Oliver thought that he was a myth. And Barry's like, no, he was there, and he had disappeared, and Gotham had gone back to crap, which is when Kate Kane comes in and takes on the Batcowl with the younger Fox, Lucius's son, is her sidekick in the show. And if you look at some of the props they put in the background, in the Crisis one, the Scarecrow mask that is in Bruce's house looks like the one from the Nolan movie. The Bane mask looks like the one from the Nolan movie. Huh. So they kind of hint without ever saying it. But that was always the hint that I got, is that the reason Oliver is the only vigilante out there is that Bruce had left Gotham years prior. And you'll notice there was never any Robin in that show. Right? They finally come out and find out, yeah, Bruce was there. There was a Batman, but he left, and nobody knows where he's been in 5 years. Right? And so that was always my running theory for the Arrowverse, which is why he, the Chris Nolan never met Superman, didn't know about any of these guys, because he happened before all these other things happened with the metahumans. So, anyway.
Yeah. There's like I agree with no, Batman would never leave Gotham, just up and leave without he has trained the Bat family to look after Gotham.
Yeah, and again, they kind of hint at it where it's like, okay, this Robin guy will now be Batman. Nah.
That to me is my biggest issue.
It just felt like a cop out.
Yeah, just hey, here's the keys to my garage, go fight crime. It's wait, what? I don't know. That part I have an issue with, but I did kind of like the little at the cafe, and he kind of nods, and he's it's alluding that now he has found peace and he has a happy life, and it's it's kind of the ending that you want Batman to have ultimately, right? He wins, he gets to have a good life or whatever. But yeah, I can see both sides, but I don't like the whole here's the keys to the Batcave, good luck, kid.
Yeah. The Arrowverse Batman it was Kevin Conroy, the Kingdom Come prosthesis. Again, yes, because it was Kevin Conroy, and Kevin Conroy finally got to play Bruce Wayne in live action after all those years on Batman the Animated Series, being, in my opinion, the best combo Bruce Wayne and Batman, right? I don't think I've ever seen a better person who did both Bruce and Batman well, right? I thought, what's his name from the Nolanverse? I thought he was a good Bruce. I didn't think he was a good Batman, right?
Yeah. Yep.
There's a lot of people. Affleck, I think, was a good Batman. I didn't like him as Bruce.
Yeah.
Right?
It's hard to pull off both.
And Kevin Conroy did it, granted in animated form, but he did it. His voice intonation changes between when he's Bruce and when he's the Bat are phenomenal, right? And he's got those moments in the animated series where he's both gruff and also very warm, right? This is a Batman who's not a sad, pathetic loner, right? This is the one that will help out Harley Quinn. Like that one scene where she's like, why did you help me out, Batman? He's like, because I had a bad day once too. Here's a dress. It's that Batman. And I like that Batman. And the fact that Conroy got to finally play Bruce in live action, yes, granted in the Kingdom Come prosthesis, which made sense, right? I was so happy about that. I was like, oh, good. He finally gets to just do it.
Yeah.
And that's why that version of Crisis, I think, is one of the best versions of Crisis I've seen. I think they did a really good job with Crisis on Infinite Earths. They did a really good job with the multiverse. They did little throw-ins without it being stupid. We got Robin from the Adam West Batman was in that show. At the very beginning, they destroy his universe, and he's walking his little dog, and it looks like the 1950s, and he's an old man wearing the Robin colors. He looks up, and the universe is destroyed, right? We had the Flash on Flash. We had the Flash from the DCEU show up in the show to talk to Barry from Flash, right? Which was a wonderful little moment, right? We got a lot of good stuff in that show. So, all right. Have we done enough DC? You want to tackle one last one?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I'll record this one. So we reported, and it was widely discussed, that the Duffer Brothers and Netflix opted to simultaneously release the final episode of Stranger Things in around 500 theaters this year on New Year's Eve at the same time it comes out on Netflix. My daughter was hyper interested in this. She really wanted to go. So the day they went on sale, I went to get some. And they were almost gone. Like, it was ridiculous. There may not be any left now. It was crazy. What did you think because I texted you and I was like, yo, dude, these things are freaking gone. What did you think?
So at first I was like, oh, like FOMO, I gotta get tickets. And I looked, but then I was like, stop. I haven't even started the last season, to be honest, on Netflix yet. So I was like, let me get through finals. And then like when I'm on vacation, I can like chill and watch like the final season. So I was like, yeah, I'm just going to miss this one. I'm not going to try to do it.
Okay. So I have one happy thing to report that may change your mind. So when I looked, they were only doing 2 screenings a day, right?
Oh, okay.
They have now increased the number of screenings. Now here's what's interesting, and I'm gonna do this here. So now you've got more, because the one I went to is sold out, I think. Yeah, see this one, this is the one that I'm in. Like, look at that. It's pretty much gone. Now, here's what's interesting about this. Watch this. In fact, I'm going to do this. Right? So if I go in here and I buy 3 tickets, 1, 2, 3, right? Okay. Can't use A-list on this. Right? But here's what's interesting. You're not buying the tickets. Okay? You're not paying to see the movie. Because there's some deal, and John Campy was talking about it the other day, where there may be something with the DGA and how their rules are structured for television, where they can't charge to do it. Right? So, to get into the show, you don't buy a ticket. You buy a $20 prepaid food and drink voucher.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you're getting your snacks. Like, you could use it to buy snacks, right? But basically what they're saying is you don't have to pay to see this, but you must buy $20 in food and snacks to come. And at first I was like, that's so weird. But then I thought about it for a minute and I was like, you know what? That's not bad. $20 for a movie ticket? I get $20 for a movie ticket and I get my snacks? Think about it. How much do you pay for a movie ticket and snacks?
Well, did you get the popcorn pass?
I did not yet. We'll talk about that in a second. But I'm saying, so first off, were you surprised that this was as popular as apparently it's turned out to be? And 2, no. Do you think that this food and drink voucher instead of movie ticket is an interesting idea?
1, not surprised. No, like, no, the show is like insanely popular. It doesn't surprise me. The whole popcorn thing, food and a drink, that is very interesting because like this is really how movie theaters make their money. So it's kind of this like really interesting promotion of like, oh heck yeah, like I'm seeing a free movie because I'm already gonna get popcorn and drink, like
which costs $20 anyway.
yeah. So let's go. So it's a pretty smart move from the theaters. Like, yeah.
I thought it was really interesting. I like it. Why don't you tell people about the Popcorn Pass? While we're on the subject of our favorite theater, AMC, hashtag not a sponsor, unless they want to be. Hi, AMC. We're cheap.
We are so cheap. But so I don't know exactly when they launched it. I think I noticed it was somewhere around Black Friday, maybe on Black Friday. I sent you a text.
Yeah, I saw the promotion.
Oh, okay. So they had, and I believe it's like $29.99. Is that what it is? Yeah. $29.99. So for $29.99, you pay that once for 1 year. You get half off popcorn. So like you spend $30 now. And for the next year, you're going to pay half price for popcorn. I have never seen like a better deal. Like that is insane.
If you were going to go to the movies more than twice at the same theater, or sorry,
yeah,
more than twice at an AMC theater throughout the course of a 12-month period, it's absolutely worth it.
Yeah, it's if you have A-list, you should have this popcorn pass. Because if you use your A-list in 1 week, like actually see all the movies, like boom, you've already made your money back. Like it's insane.
Absolutely. See, this is the kind of stuff that I think the theaters need to do more of. Again, like you're not paying for the movie, but you have to buy a $20 food and drink voucher. You're still going to get your food and drink. You're still going to get your popcorn and soda, but now you didn't have to pay $70 to see this. The popcorn pass I like too. I may have to like do some research, right? I may have to do some research before the next show. Because I'm curious if these are the things they're going to have to, like, if they could start to find ways to make it cheaper to be a more frequent visitor at the thing. Because if you notice that popcorn pass, right, it's one annual fee of $29.99, one time for a year,
yep.
Right? So again, if you're going to go to the same AMC 3 times in a year, you've paid for itself because you're getting half off, right? I wonder if this is the trick to get people back in the theaters. Is you've got to find a way to show them, like, look, we need to get the cash flow rolling, but we're going to make it overall cheaper for you if you come to the movies 5 times a year. Because you'll notice for the popcorn pass, you don't have to be an A-list member.
Right.
You only have to have a Stubs account, right? Which is just their points account, right? So you don't need A-list to pay the monthly fee like you and I do because we're silly, right? You just need to have a Stubs, which is same as your Safeway card or something. And then you get half off your popcorn. Plus you still earn your points for every dollar you spent.
Yep.
So they need to do a better job at advertising this. You know what, AMC, you need to call us. I swear to God. Speaking of movies, did you see what Zootopia 2 grossed last weekend?
No.
In the first weekend.
Oh, wow. Oh, wait, you didn't show it yet. Okay. What was it?
Did you see what they grossed in their first weekend?
I did not. No.
$500 million.
Wow. That makes sense, though.
In the opening weekend.
Yeah.
They haven't gotten to their second weekend yet. They're at 620,000. I knew Zootopia 2 was going to be popular. There's no way this movie's not. No way. Did I lose everybody? Oh, internet.
Hello?
Oh, yeah, no, internet went to crap for a second.
Uh-oh.
Hang on.
Uh,
Let's give it a minute. Yeah. I thought Zootopia 2 was going to be popular. But 500 million globally, its opening weekend popular? Did you think it was going to be that popular? Or is that... That's huge.
It's huge, but it does not surprise me.
Really? I was shocked by that number.
Its opening weekend was Thanksgiving weekend. And I know so many people who, as a tradition, they literally have, like, every year they go see with their entire family a movie in the movie theater. So, like, and so many people do that. Like, and also I think there's like nothing for it on that level for it to compete with. Like, it was just a...
But let's put this in perspective. In its first 7 days in theaters, Zootopia 2 has grossed more than Superman did during its entire theatrical run.
Superman didn't come out Thanksgiving weekend.
I still don't think it would have done 500 million its first weekend.
Oh, I'm gonna sick dog dad on you. I don't know. It just like
600. Look at this. Zootopia 2 has grossed more in its first 7 days than Superman did in 3 months. That's insane to me. Again, we've talked about this on the show. I don't believe Neja 2's numbers. I just don't. So I ignore it as the number one. It's going to blow past Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch did just over $1 billion. I think Zootopia 2 might get to 1.3. It's going to get past Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch did $1 billion and some change. That is the number one movie of the year.
I don't know. I'm going to go with 1.1.
You think it's going to get to 1. I think it'll be a 1.1 by next week. Somebody mark this down and remind us at the beginning of next week's show to check Zootopia's numbers.
Dude, all we have to do is just put it on the rundown doc at the very beginning.
Jeez, like, make me think about work that we have to do.
Check.
Oh, see, he's already doing it. That's good.
Zootopia numbers.
Jesus. Just insane how much money that movie has made already. Has animation surpassed live action last few decades? No. No, definitely not. Here's the other big one. And I don't want to do this today, and we'll do it probably next week, because when does Avatar 3 come out? The 19th. Yeah, we'll do it next week. Is we got to do a final on how much we think Avatar 3 is going to make.
I don't think it's going to be good. I think, like, it's not. Nope. The new car smell is weird off.
You think so?
Yeah. I don't think it's going to do as much as the second film, which I think did less than the first film.
It did. It did. Because Avatar 1 and 2 are in the highest grossing. They are number 1 and number 3 in the highest grossing of all time. So Avatar made 2.9 billion. It was just shy of 3 billion, because no movie's ever made 3. Avatar: The Way of Water made 2.3 billion. Right. So again, we'll do it next week, is whether we think Avatar 3 can hit 2 billion or if it's going to miss that mark. Yeah. Because, yeah, right now, I'm going to see it. Actually, no, I guess I don't. Which one is that? I want to see it on a bigger... Do I? No, you know what? I don't care. But can I get better seats? That's what I want. Better seats. for Stranger Things. All right. I think that's all we got for today. Do we have anything else?
I don't think we do. God, there's something I was going to say if we had time, and I cannot remember. I cannot recall anymore.
We got a second. Wicked 2's still doing really well in the box office. You know, I'm glad for them. They've definitely been supplanted by Laser. No.
What?
No.
Did someone...
looking at the tickets.
Oh. I thought someone was using a laser on you. I was like...
What's the origin of Black Friday? Oh, it started as a description for traffic in Philadelphia back in the 1930s about how bad the traffic was on a particular one for a Black Friday. And then later on, it was rebranded to talk about when companies went into the black for the year and became profitable for the year. And so, yeah, Black Friday started as describing traffic conditions. So, in Philadelphia specifically. In what year was that? The 1950s, to describe a chaotic shopping day the day after Thanksgiving. And so, it came from Philadelphia to describe traffic and how bad traffic was. The roads are black. Yeah, there you go. Did you remember what you wanted to talk about?
Yes.
What?
I watched the entire P. Diddy documentary that came out this week.
Somebody asked about that earlier. What did you think?
Oh. So one, when it came out, I saw that his lawyers issued a like a takedown notice of that documentary, which literally came home from work, was like, oh, they're trying to take down the documentary on Netflix. And I was like, watch all 4 episodes right now. Like today, tonight, we're watching all 4 episodes. That way, if it is taken down, haha, gotcha. It is pretty messed up. It starts in the beginning, kind of going over childhood stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then it gets into the baby oil stuff. Like episode 2 or 3. But yeah, it was good. I liked it overall, but if you're still like a P. Diddy fan right now, you're probably not going to be once you watch this documentary.
I used to be a big fan of his business acumen and a lot of things about him. And he's, again, one of those ones that I was really upset when everything turned out to be just so bad. You know? Like, it just sucks. All right.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, folks. I think that's where we're going to leave you for tonight. We have some things. We're going to go look at some metrics, try and improve our YouTube statistics. We love you, though. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. From me, Jay's cool hat, OctoKitty. Thanks for those that stuck around for the whole show. We love you, and we will be back next week. Yes?
Yes.
Because you're not going out of state this Christmas season, are you?
No.
No. Last year you did. I was left by my lonesome streaming.
Yeah, we might do like a few day trips, but nothing like insane.
All right. That's good. I don't like being alone. All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.